Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Yours truly, Frank Morano here. Oh, my microphone lapel pin is upside down. That's embarrassing. Hopefully, I could fix it before anybody tunes in. All right, here we are. Here we are on Tuesday. A bunch of things to cover. First and foremost, I think this is the first one of these live streams that we've done since I have gotten elected to the city council a week ago. So I got elected a week ago today. And wait, today's Wednesday? Is today really Wednesday? Oh boy, this is embarrassing. So, well, it may be Wednesday, but these are the thoughts that I had on Tuesday. So I don't know. Can I edit this? Let me see if I can edit this. Various Wednesday thoughts. Let me try that. I should have known because it was a beautiful day today, and Tuesdays are usually kind of rough. Well, anyway, even more so. This is the first time that we've spoken in one of these live streams, I think, since I won the election last Tuesday. So there we go. It should be okay now that it's Wednesday. So thank you to everybody who lives in the South Shore of Staten Island who voted. Thank you to everybody that made a contribution or volunteered, making phone calls or going door to door or getting lawn sign locations or just spreading the word and sharing our content on social media. I appreciate it a great deal and means a lot to me personally and to my family. I also finally got the date today that I'm going to be sworn in because I am still Councilman-elect Morano, technically, but I am going to be sworn in at City Hall on Tuesday, and then it will be official. I'll actually be Councilman Morano. And then at some point on Staten Island, I'm not sure when, we're working on the particulars of this, at some point we will do a larger ceremonial swearing in on Staten Island that everybody will be invited to, and we'll make it a big august occasion. So I'm not sure when that'll be, but we'll work on scheduling that sometime soon. But yeah, as of Tuesday at 1:30, I will be a city councilman officially, and believe me, I can hardly believe it myself. So that'll be that. All right. If those of you watching, please be good enough to like, comment, and share. That's like, comment, and share. Cynthia Falou saying hi, Frank. NY Mets fan had a question I was just going to mention, which is about radio. He asked, "Will I ever be back on 77 WABC in a regular fashion?" Oh, well, first let me mention, I was invited to appear on Sid Rosenberg's show this morning at 6:45 not this morning, tomorrow morning, Thursday morning. So I am looking forward to that very much. Sid has been a great friend, a great supporter, great advocate during the campaign, and I'm looking forward to going on his show very much. I'm not sure if I'm going to be back on WABC on a regular basis, and if so, I'm not sure when that will be. I had anticipated being back on starting last Thursday, and I had prepared a show for that Thursday, only to be told that they were still figuring things out, and they wanted to know, they weren't sure what the restrictions were in terms of work or anything like that. I was surprised because nothing really changed for me, and that I was still just a private citizen. But I certainly understand how they have to make plans for the affiliates and things like that. So obviously, I've been disappointed not to have been on all week. And part of last week, I had a lot of fun radio stories that I was prepared to tell you. It's the most interesting thing in the world, reading the newspaper now. And my instinct when I read all of these newspaper stories, maybe it's not the most interesting thing in the world, maybe it's just force of habit. When I read these newspaper stories, I habitually start writing down the stories that I think are talk topics. It's really strange. I start writing down, oh, this is going to be interesting. This is what maybe I'll say about it. This is who a good guest might be. And then I'll realize, wait a minute, I'm not on the radio tonight. So when I have had occasions to go on radio, yesterday, for instance, I was on with my buddy AC Mike Lopez on Talk 1400 WOND, who does a great job. And then last night I was on Rich Valdez on his nationally syndicated show in the evening. A lot of you, I think, heard that. Quite a few of you wrote to me. So it was great to be on both of those shows. But whenever I get the opportunity to do any of these radio shows, I have a radio show bursting out of me, ready to explode. So the truth is, I am not sure when I'm going to be back, or if I'm going to be back, and what the circumstance was. I'll tell you, and share this with you. And I'm not trying to stir any discontent or anything, but I just tried to log on to my WABCradio.com email and my Red Apple Audio Network email, and my email is no longer working. So I'm not sure if that's tied into what's going on, but I'll find out, I'm sure, one way or another. And the shame of it is, I would have really liked, if this was going to be it for me, the audience for The Other Side of Midnight has just been so incredibly loyal that I would have really liked an opportunity to do sort of a last show or a last couple of shows on air, to have some guests, to take some calls from people that have been great contributors to the show, and to say a proper goodbye and a proper thank you. But I'm hoping that once I'm sworn in, that I'll be able to at least do some sort of a radio show on a regular basis on terrestrial radio, whether it's nationally syndicated or just in New York or somewhere else. I've already had a couple of, thoughts about where that might lead. And I think that might be, it might be something that's in the offing. Now, I will have to get permission from the city council to do that, some form of a waiver. So that will be interesting. Michael Scott Cutler says Valdez. It's Valdez with an S. Don't forget. My liberty-loving Latino amigo is Levin's call screener. He used to be, but hasn't been in a couple of years. So, but he did indeed used to be Mark Levin's call screener. But I've had so many interesting radio stories, excuse me, that I would have liked to have shared on the radio. For instance, on Saturday, Rachel and I and Carmine were driving back from my goddaughter, my friend Anthony Magliaca's son's first communion, all the way out in Westchester. And what happens on the way driving back is we get rear-ended. So that was an interesting story that has all sorts of other interesting aspects to it. So now the car is very dinged up in the back, but I'm taking it to my Uncle Steve's shop on Monday to see if they can fix it, and fix it quickly. So that's that. It's stories like that, this kind of thing that I would share every single day on the air, that a lot of people seem to get a kick out of, that I really miss telling. And telling them on social media just doesn't have the same flair, in my opinion. So I am hoping to be back soon, and somehow, and by hook or by crook, I just will need to get a waiver from the New York City Council in order to do that. And then make sure that I have the bandwidth to honor the commitment that I made to my constituents, which is to work very hard and be the hardest working person in our office. And at the same time, do the proper service to our listeners. So we'll see. This weekend, I am going to be on Marsha Kramer's show on CBS 2. I believe it's called The Point. I'm looking forward to going on that show very much. Channel 2 in New York City, or the New York metropolitan area. Hopefully, a lot of you will check in. Virginia Hobby, watching on Instagram, says, we all have missed you and hope you'll be back. The subs are okay, but certainly not the same. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So that's that. The last thing I'll mention is I have another election. It's hard to believe because I still haven't been sworn in yet, but I have another election coming up in 48 days. We have the Republican primary election. There's two other candidates that are on the ballot in addition to myself. One of those candidates is definitely running. He's running very aggressively. And the other candidate is one of the fellows that I just beat in the recent special election. I'm not sure what he's going to end up doing, but we have to prepare. So if you want to help us out for that primary election and make a campaign contribution, you can certainly do so by going to Morano4Council.com. That's Morano4Council.com. I'm not sure if our podcasts are still up. I'll be very frank. I'm frank all the time. I am afraid to go and check because I don't want to be disappointed if they're not still up. So if they're up, I hope you go and check them out and enjoy them. It's redappleaudionetworks.com/Frank. If they're not, hopefully I'll be back in some form or another, even if it's just in a podcast sometime soon. All right. Those of you watching, please feel free to like, comment, and share. Like, comment, and share. If anybody has a quick question, feel free to post it in the comments and I'll try and address it quickly. Otherwise, I was thinking, I don't know if my wife is going to be into it. We're actually both pretty tired. I was thinking that maybe we would try to watch Conclave tonight. It seems apropos, and I know some people have different complaints about that picture, but it seems an interesting film to watch as the papal conclave is getting underway in the Vatican. Janice Lynch says, a huge congratulations, Frank. We miss you on the radio, but I've been getting much more sleep. We'll continue to follow you. Thank you, Janice. Thank you, Janice. That's awfully nice. Seeing as how my email is not really working at the moment, if you want to email me, you can do so through Morano4Council.com. There should be an email button there or a contact button, and you can email me through there. It's my full email address is frank@Morano4Council.com. It's frank@Morano4Council.com. All right. Unless anybody else has any questions or anything that they want me to address, I am going to log off and call it an evening. Getting up early in the morning instead of going to bed early in the morning, it's not all it's cracked up to be, let me tell you. So Grace says she's happy for my council appointment. Thank you. Unlike John A. Light in Englishtown, New Jersey, Grace, I was not appointed. I was elected by the good folks of the 51st Councilmanic District in the South Shore of Staten Island, which I'm very grateful for. All right. I will see you on the campaign trail.